But that's definitely what's happening. Yes. But at least you'll get his undergrad. Yeah, we'll be, and they're letting us go. Yeah, good. Not good. So, good. And their graduation goes outside of the as of right now, they're just giving away 2 tickets. But my wife's cousin is a building facilities manager. So, yeah. So, it's trying to get 2 tickets.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm just going to say a couple words and then hand it over to Chief McCarthy that's going to give an update. I wanted to just reflect on how proud I am of our community and not just in New Haven, but the greater Connecticut community for coming together at this time. We've received an outpouring of support, whether it is social media posts, calls, emails, letters, from municipal leaders around the state, from the governor, from many leaders in the public safety sector, offering to help, offering their words of condolences. And it just makes me very proud at this moment, where there's a lot of pain to know that so many people are coming together. I also feel very proud of our fire department and our city employees. I was talking with my staff member about how we need to send some food to the fire department, and they said, well, there's too much food there already. We'll have to wait until it slows down a bit so that we can send some food over. it's just one indication of so many ways that our team here is supporting each other in a challenging time and coming together. So I'm very grateful to all the residents out there who have offered this support. I've spoken with both families consistently, and they too are very grateful for all the outpouring of support that they've received. I'm going to hand it over to Chief McCarthy to give an update on everything going on.
First, I'd like to thank the mayor, federal, state, and local police forces and fire departments that have reached out. I'm Assistant Chief Justice McCarthy, New Haven Fire Department. I want to thank you for your concern. I have a brief update concerning the incident at 190 Valley Street. Currently, the Connecticut State Police Fire Investigation Unit is operating with our Fire Marshal's Office and Connecticut OSHA on site. At this point, I can relay to you that Chief John Alston is with Lieutenant Samod Rankins at Bridgeport Hospital's burn unit. Lieutenant Rankins' condition has been steadily improving, and Chief Alston wanted to be there with the family. At this point, I can tell you that his family has requested that prayers continue, and they're grateful for the prayers that have been coming in. The department has been in continual contact with firefighter Torres' family. We again are asking for privacy at this difficult time while they grieve. As specifics about what steps will be taken next in regards to firefighter Torres, that will come out in official statements. The department is also grateful for all of the donations. The department has seen overwhelming support from around the country from our brothers and sisters in the fire service, police service, and civilians that have reached out, and that is truly appreciated. The only thing that we ask is that members of the public stay away from the Valley Street area as the investigation continues. This is a tough time for all of us, and on behalf of the New Haven Fire Department, I just want to say thank you to everyone. At this time, I would like to introduce Connecticut State Police Sergeant Paul Maycook, who is leading the investigation at 190 Valley Street.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Sergeant Paul Maycook with the Connecticut State Police Fire and Explosion Investigation Unit. On behalf of the Connecticut State Police, we extend our deepest sympathies to the New Haven Fire Department on their loss. We do understand and we feel for them during this tragic time. During this time, we have been requested by the New Haven State's Attorney's Office to come in and take the lead on the investigation into this tragedy. This is something that is not uncommon during these situations that occur, and we have over the years we've enjoyed a very close working relationship with both the New Haven Fire Department and the New Haven Police Department, and that makes it easier for us to do the job. So when the phone rings at 2 o'clock in the morning and we show up on these scenes, we're able to work together, and that's one of the keys to an investigation like this. We're very sensitive to the fact that this does involve one of their own family members, and we're all part of a family, but in these instances, we're able to come into the city and assist them and work together to try to determine exactly where and how this fire started and how the events that transpired led to again the tragic loss of one of their own firefighters. At this time, I can tell you that the scene investigation continues. We have been out on scene, again, working with the New Haven Police Department, the New Haven Fire Department, and the Fire Marshal's Office since early yesterday morning. We have secured that scene, and as was indicated, that area is closed off as we continue to process the scene. We have been able to do quite a bit of work, but we still have quite a bit of work ahead of us. Investigations such as this become multifaceted. So we're looking to determine the origin and cause of the fire, but also, again, the incident that led up to the tragic loss of life. And these incidents, again, require a lot of interviews with the responding personnel, the responding firefighters who were there, again, fighting the fire and then trying to save one of their own. So we're, again, working around the clock. We will not leave this scene or leave the city until we have been able to get all of that work accomplished. So we will be out there for several more days, and we just ask for your patience. And again, we are looking to make sure that no stone is left unturned. We are working in conjunction with our federal agencies. NIOSH is also an agency that is required to investigate these types of incidents, as well as the Connecticut OSHA. So we're working again in conjunction with them. At this time, I can just tell you that we have detectives out at that scene. We're getting a lot of support from the city, and we'll hope to resolve this situation, but it's going to take some time. Thank you.
Would you mind taking a couple of questions, just in general terms, whatever you can talk about? Regarding the scene itself, what sort of complicates the investigation? We've heard that it was a hoarding situation in that house, and if so, how does that complicate your investigation?
So at this time, again, we're documenting the scene. We just got entry into the scene this morning. Again, these things take time. We're evaluating right now whether or not, an overaccumulation of combustibles, or, in terms of hoarding. It's difficult to tell right now whether or not it was hoarding or just, a lot of accumulation of combustible materials. There was extensive damage to the building and inside the building that we're working right now to make safe, so that these detectives can go in and do the work that they need to do. And a lot of that requires, moving some debris. There has been, some building structural collapse within the building. So again, we're still trying to determine if there was a hoarding condition, or if we're just dealing with a lot of, items that are in one area because of a collapse. But those types of hoarding conditions certainly can hinder not only our investigation, but the response of the fire department. So one of the things that we look for in these types of incidents is to see if there were any contributing factors that led to these firefighters being able to get in there and safely do their job. And sometimes in the cases of hoarding or when we have a lot of clutter, it does hinder the fire department. I mean, they do outstanding work and they do a lot of training, but when they get into these situations, sometimes they never know what they're walking into or what they're crawling through. And those are things that we're going to look at to see if that was a contributing factor in this case.
Maybe for the assistant chief or for the mayor, could you give us an update on how the other two firefighters who were injured and treated and released, I think firefighters Reed and Skolnick, how they're doing, and
Sure.
also how the people, the tenants who were inside the building, who firefighters rescued, what is their condition?
Sure, Tom. So in regards to firefighters Tyrone Reed and Tyler Skolnick, both have been treated and released. We are working with our employee assistance program with all of our members to get them critical care that they need at this point. As for the occupants, to the best of my knowledge, one was treated at the hospital and one was treated on scene. And that's the most up-to-date info that I have on that.
Going off of that, is there any way, I know that the mayor mentioned, you may be overloaded with food, but community members want to do something they want to help with. There's a GoFundMe page. Are you guys supporting that for his family, or do you have any information how we can help the community?
Sure. So I have no information about a GoFundMe page yet. I know there's a lot of outpouring of support coming in. I think the most important thing for people to do is, if they know a firefighter, reach out to them. I think that's the thing that we've been encouraging everyone to do. It's important for us to be able to grieve, and the outpouring of support is wonderful. But at this point, I think allowing the firefighters to come together on their own at first to battle through that is the most important piece.
Can you talk about firefighter Torres, his colleagues? They're still responding to fires today. How are they doing? How are they doing and continuing to serve this city? I mean, it's pretty incredible that they're still out there while they're mourning.
Absolutely. So currently, the New Haven Fire Department is still responding to calls and has since the incident. We did rely during the incident on mutual aid from our partners in West Haven, East Haven, and Hamden. They were released back to their respective communities quickly after. We've been filling the shifts with members who are essentially volunteering to come in and work shifts for other people and to step up and fill shifts that are vacant by people that have reported that, that they were on scene, and they're receiving critical scene debriefings and care with our employee assistance program. We also have healthcare professionals that have been working with various members that were on site, and we have peer support teams that have been coming into the city from various agencies, and a lot of support has been given from them to our members. So I think that's the most important thing. For some of the people, I think being here is part of the healing process, and I think that's showing 100% in this case.
And it would be fair to say, not only are you dealing with this, you had a tragedy last week, and your pandemic. This has been, it gets compounded for you guys, and our hearts are feeling for you.
We appreciate that, and yes, we are battling various fronts right now. I think this is a testament to the type of people that work here in New Haven and in the fire service.
Chief, can you talk a little bit about, going back to my question regarding possible hoarding, when you train as firefighters, can you ever sort of simulate a situation like that when you train to fight a fire, where you put a lot of obstacles in a way in a simulated home or whatever?
Sure, Tom. So, yes, firefighters receive extensive training both when they're hired and continuously throughout the year through retraining. And in doing that, we put them through a lot of high-stress environments to be able to combat the stress that comes along. I can't say it's the same thing. We can never put somebody into the same position that they're going to face at a fire scene because it's so dynamic. Changes constantly. No two houses are set up the same. I'm sure if we polled everyone right now, their front door is in a different location. So we can never train for every single thing. We try to train in broad strokes, and we try to make it as realistic as possible so that when the stress is encountered, we know how to manage the stress. And I think that's what occurred at 190 Valley Street. I think stress was managed to work through what was going on and to essentially facilitate the rescue of both civilians and firefighters.
We understand firefighter Torres was actually working a shift covering for someone else on that evening. Is that something that you can confirm for us?
At this point, I think it's safe to say he was not working with his assigned shift. He was working a different shift in the same firehouse that he is assigned, which is a fairly common practice here.
Can I make a quick comment?
Yeah, thank you.
Just on the hoarding issue, there's been a number of questions that I've heard about hoarding as well, and I think it's really important, and I've experienced this a number of times, particularly with police investigations, that we let things take their course before jumping to conclusions about what actually happened. I've seen that oftentimes the kind of initial rumors of what may come out may only reflect a small portion of the entire story. So I just want to encourage people to be careful in the reporting there. The other thing I'd add is to what Assistant Chief McCarthy said of this is who we are. The police department, the fire department, city employees keep getting up and keep doing this work because they care deeply about it, even in this time of tragedy. And we've had some mutual support from surrounding towns. Even some folks, I was just talking with one individual that was detailed to help out from another fire department here. We appreciate that support, but at the same time, I think that it's a testament to the type of fire department and city employees that we have, that even in this time of tragedy, people get up, they come to work and do their job to keep people safe. It makes me really proud to be mayor of the city. Any other questions for folks?
Chief McCarthy, Chief Olson said yesterday that this was a difficult fire for the responding firefighters. Can you explain why it was a difficult fire?
I think overall his intention in that statement was that it was difficult in the fact that firefighters faced a large dwelling with a lot of fire, and it was compounded by the fact that there was occupants that required rescue and essentially firefighters requiring rescue as well. So I think it was a totally encompassing statement in that regard.